Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's dive on in and let's talk about a few things. So, one, we recently saw that Medico was talking a little bit about custody services back at the Ripple Swell event. And the direct quote here was, "Custody is the enabler, custody is the necessary brick, so that as a regulated institution, you can build on top of it and create a service that your clients will appreciate." And yes, I did just recently include this in a video. The reason why I'm including it in this video is because, well, we are now seeing the major change here. When we talk about custody, this is the door that opens for tokenization to be realized in, for an example. The reason why I bring this up is because we're already starting to see major players tapping into custody. Medico has been a huge piece of the puzzle because, again, Ripple acquired Medico. And I do think that they acquired Medico because it's all by their original plan, which is, how can we get to the end game? The end game is allowing these major banks, like, for example, HSBC, because HSBC recently tapped into Medico to launch security token custody. When we look at this, this is all a part of the end game scenario. It's not just about tokenized currency. It's about tokenized assets. Securities is the main focus here, and that's huge because there's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in securities. So imagine tokenizing that and moving it over the blockchain. That is very, very revolutionary. But like I said, this is all a part of the big, end game scenario, which is allowing these major banks to tap into custody services so that they can build upon the custody services, meaning tokenization, payments, DeFi. The list goes on and on and on. But outside of this, HSBC is not the only one tapping into custody services. We already know that Medico has become a major platform for custody services. They're already working with some very large players, which we've gone over in the past. But there's also other ones that are already looking into custody services. Deutsche Bank, for an example, is another great one in Germany. This was back in June. They were looking to grow its digital assets and custody business. And then also, we had a few other announcements back in June as well. Custody was a big focus point back in June. And then also recently, Germany's fourth largest bank, Commerzbank, granted crypto custody license back on the 15th. All of these major banks are moving in on custody services. Do you understand why? Once they have custody licenses and services in place, well, now they can look at the next big thing, which is tokenization, payments, settlement layers. Things like that get me very excited because when we really kind of look at these banks, it's starting. It's already happening. And also, shout out to Crypto Eddie for this. She posted this over on Twitter as well on the 17th. We do see I was left a YouTube comment. $45 trillion blockchain-based tokenized assets is too high. According to Sygnum Bank, they point to predictions that tokenization for global illiquid assets could become a US dollar 16 to 68 trillion market by 2030. So somebody commented on our video and said that $45 trillion worth of blockchain-based tokenized assets is too high. But Sygnum Bank is now saying that it could become a 16 to 68 trillion dollar market by 2030. The lowest amount here is 16 trillion. They cite such numbers is not unrealistic, given that the fixed income debt market alone is worth an estimated $127 trillion. Global real estate, $362 trillion. Gold, $12 trillion market capitalization. If everything is tokenized, guess what? 45 trillion, hell, even 68 trillion is low. We've talked about this. I said it back in September, and I said it even before September as well. You have tokenized deposits, global stablecoins, tokenized central bank monies, tokenized debt, derivatives, bonds, real estate. The list goes on and on, but the question everyone should be asking is, how will all of this be settled? If we think the system now is fragmented and there is a ton of friction, all of these new currencies, tokenized assets, will only create more. This is where decentralized bridge currencies become crucial to alleviate friction and eliminate fragmentation. We also need interoperability, which you could take an educated guess on who will fill this role. I keep saying the world around you is changing. If you are not doing the research necessary to see this, then you will be left behind. And listen, like, as we look at everything being tokenized, like, this is just the surface area of it, right? Like, everything will eventually be tokenized. Everything. And it all really kind of starts with custody services, in my opinion. I think that once we start to see these custody services launching, they will move on tokenization heavy. Because again, how could they move on tokenization if they don't have a place to store these tokenized things of value? And no, they're not going to be storing it physically. But custody services from a name like Medico, for example, that could be trusted, it's secure. They want to make sure that they can store these tokenized assets securely without any issues. That's why the custody services is so crucial to note. That's why Ripple acquired Medico. And again, they were looking to acquire Fortress, but Fortress was not that secure. We know this. They got exploited. But beyond this, we recently seen David Schwartz, Ripple CTO, says XRP Ledger pivoting to real-world asset tokenization pursued by firms like JP Morgan and Bank of America. This is significant. Listen, we've always talked about Bank of America pursuing on-demand liquidity with XRP. Well, now we start to see tokenization becoming a big, hot topic. Within this, it does go over a few things. It's basically talking a little bit about how the XRP Ledger is now getting a lot more attention, especially from some of the bigger players. And also, instead of an all-in obsession with XRP, its gas token, the Ledger itself is now becoming a big, big focus point. He emphasized that XRP remains a token that market participants can buy, hold, and transfer. However, he stressed that the token itself is not as interesting as the core technology powering the XRP Ledger. But remember, right? XRP is a gas token. It's crucial to the XRP Ledger. So the technology behind the XRP Ledger is extremely disruptive. He further called attention to the XRP Ledger's unique nature at the early stage of blockchain adoption, noting that the network was the first layer 1 blockchain not built from the Bitcoin technology during the 2011-2012 period. So it's exciting to see more focus on the technology. You're right, institutional adoption of the XRP Ledger technology is growing. Again, proof that it's happening. According to him, part of the reason behind this growing interest in adoption is the heritage that the network was built around. He confirmed that the original architects, including him, built the XRP Ledger for enterprise finance, applications, and cross-border payments. Again, it was specifically designed for this. He noted that in the early days, he and the other architects were looking at ways to bolster enterprise adoption for solutions like Bitcoin. For such adoption to occur, they would need to establish bridges, connections, and other pivotal technologies. He revealed that he is extremely excited about the delving into real-world asset tokenization. He stressed that establishing efficient tokenization of real-world assets has grown to be a real problem. The XRP Ledger is positioned to solve this problem. And we also do see down here that real-world asset tokenization is something that I'm pretty excited about right now, because that's a real problem. And there's real interest from mainstream financial giants like JP Morgan and Bank of America, which are actively pursuing tokenization of traditional assets. Projected to hit $30 trillion by 2030, the tokenization industry has become a hot topic in the crypto scene, with projects such as Floki looking to jump on it. Anthony Welfare, Ripple CBDC advisor, revealed in July that Ripple aims to transform the real estate industry through tokenization. And then also in a previous interview, David Schwartz expressed his desire to see the XRP Ledger serve as the go-to platform for tokenized real-world assets. He noted that the XRP Ledger boasts all the attractive features for this purpose, including, of course, low gas fees. Now, with that in mind, let's actually play the video. So here we have from Ingrid, Ripple CTO David Schwartz is delighted on the growing attention to the XRP Ledger. Check this out.
Well, I just want to start by saying personally, like, it's great to see more attention on the technology behind the XRP ledger rather than just sort of obsession with a token, because XRP is a token, you know, fundamentally a token. You can hold it, you can trade it, you can buy it, you can, like, a token is not really an interest, like, technologically, it's not, like, there's liquidity associated with it and so on, but, like, there's the technology behind a token is not interesting, but the technology behind a layer one, and, you know, the XRP ledger was the first non-Bitcoin layer one. Like, every layer one before the XRP ledger back in 2011, 2012 was just, you know, a Bitcoin clone. And so it's exciting to see more focus on the technology, things like the first DEX. Yeah, you're right that institutional adoption of XRP ledger technologies is growing. I think part of it is just the heritage of the XRP ledger that was built around enterprise and financial applications. Cross-border payments was the product that the XRP ledger was originally built for. You know, what we were looking at back in those very, very early days was how would there be enterprise adoption of, well, Bitcoin was the only cryptocurrency at the time. What we think is, like, how would there be enterprise adoption of Bitcoin? There would have to be bridges and connections, and there'd have to be, you know, these other technologies. As far as trends and the way it's moving, real world asset tokenization, I think, is something that I'm pretty excited about right now, because that's, you know, that's a real problem, and there's real interest from mainstream financial giants like, you know, like JP Morgan and Bank of America are actively pursuing tokenization of traditional assets. So I think that's an area to watch, and I think that's an area where the XRP ledger is going to excel.
So there you guys have it. And I do believe that the XRP Ledger is purposely built for these incredible applications. And also outside of this, remember back in the beginning of November, we also seen this. David Schwartz, tokenization to start next year. The XRP Ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real-world assets. I think we will see that in the next year. The XRP Ledger has a decentralized exchange launched in 2012 with the world's first decentralized exchange built into it, and the ability to tokenize anything of value onto the ledger. The XRP ecosystem is not only all the money, but it is also all the information, all the data. The internet of value, the future is bright, and this got posted by Edward Farina. Check it out.
I'm hoping that we're going to see, as real-world asset tokenization projects grow, I think the XRP Ledger is going to be a really good platform for them to launch on, particularly because of the low fees and because of the integration with the DEX, with the proximity to sort of the movement of funds. The ability, you know, if someone's going to buy, what do you want to do with a real-world tokenized asset? You want to buy it, you want to sell it, you want to hold it, you want to transfer it. And if you want to buy it and sell it, you want to be able to do that with whatever asset is convenient for you. You don't want to tie, if you tokenize some sort of debt, like, you don't want to tie it to US dollars, because then that limits access to it to people who have sort of proximity to US dollars. One of the things the XRP Ledger is good for is giving you sort of proximity to many different assets, and that exchange is seamlessly built in. So I think that's going to make, that's one of the many reasons why the XRP Ledger is going to be a good place to launch tokenized real-world assets. I think we'll see that in the next year, year and a half.
Cool, yeah, and there's
And again, that's also where XRP really kind of plays a vital role as well, is the idea that XRP could technically settle anything of value with any currency as well. And that's so crucial to understand. And this is also what puts the XRP Ledger at the forefront of this tokenization revolution. And also going back to, you know, Bank of America, shout out to MetaMan X for this. Beyond crypto tokenization, Bank of America, this was back in July, right? And this is talking about the transformation that tokenization will have. They even go over the key takeaways. They talk about how today's financial systems continue to be built on centralized and fragmented infrastructure that requires third-party intermediaries. But DLT and blockchain applications like tokenization can help facilitate the transformation of this legacy infrastructure. So custody, tokenization, it's all a part of the same revolution. And even here, they do talk about tokenization on an infrastructure evolution. Today's financial systems can continue to be built on centralization or centralized infrastructure. They talk about how even APIs and third-party intermediaries are key to. But the thing about that is that with APIs, with Ripple, you have an API that is decentralized. You also have something that could essentially be tapped in and provide tokenization and provide seamless transactions with settlement. This is game changing, but also remember, right, that Ripple is tapping into everything. They have an all-in-one package here. It's crazy to think about where we are headed. What's crazy as well is that if we look down at the bottom, They even talk about meme coins. They talk about all of the attention-seeking projects in the space. Blockchain's record ownership of the 26,000 plus tokens that exist within the digital asset ecosystem. Bank of America Global Research expects 99% of those in existence today to essentially disappear over the next 10 years. So now what we are left with is the disruptive technology. XRP and the XRP Ledger, in my opinion, is crucial to that. We are seeing major changes here. We're starting to see the institutions tapping into custody services, which will ultimately blossom into tokenization services. And I do believe, just like David Schwartz is saying, the XRP Ledger, it's at the forefront of this. It was specifically designed for this. I'm very excited for the future. Are you? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.